You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
I am Glenn the Geek from Ocala, Florida, and you're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Wednesday, May 27th, episode 3959, brought to you by Chewy. Good morning, Horse World. Well, as you know, we're out for the Horse Lovers Cruise. Today we're stopping in Skagway, Alaska, and doing a scenic train ride. We did it last time we were here, and it was so good we are doing it again. Jamie and I will return on Monday. Jamie and I thought that this was the perfect time to replay for you two of Leslie Wiley's classic interviews. You heard her on the Where Are They Now segment a few weeks ago here on the show. She was an important part of our show in the early years. She was the first one to do the Horse Nation segments with us for years and years, and we became fast friends. I have two interviews for you today. The first one won the Best Podcast Award at the American Horse Publications in 2017. That was the first one they gave a podcast award for, actually. It's the Lady Martha story, and oh my God, it was funny, and I know many of you have not heard it, and those that have will love to hear it again. Then the second one is the interview we did after her experience riding at the Mongol Derby. Let me tell you, she had a wild ride over there, and I might have been the one that challenged her to do it, and I still don't think she has forgiven me for that. So sit back, grab a tea, and enjoy the wild times of Leslie right after this. Fend off those flies with the help of Chewy. Keep your horses comfortable with feed-through fly control, fly sprays and roll-ons, and protective gear like masks, sheets, and boots. If you haven't already, now's the time to set your essentials on auto ship so you're covered all season long. Chewy has top brands you trust like Simplifly, Ultra Shield, Cashel, Shoefly, and many more, all in one place. Shop online at chewy.com/equine or in the Chewy app today.
Hey, guys.
So good to have you back. Now, I got to say, Misty, who's one of our listeners, said, I can't wait to hear from Leslie. So exciting. So exciting. I'm pea green with envy. So, so Leslie, give us real quick the Reader's Digest of how this came to be. A real short version, because I really want to hear what happened.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, basically, I'd seen this photo online of this woman fox hunter. She's like, covered in mud. She's like trotting toward the camera, like with a cigarette, and her eyes are just like smoldering. And I was just like, who is this woman? And find out her name is the Lady Martha Sitwell. And she's actually done some pretty amazing things in her life. Like she's ridden side saddle across Mongolia and
who hasn't done that?
And right. And is, quite the intrepid fox hunter and she's nobility. So my husband and I were going over to the UK on holiday for a week anyway, and I thought, I might just reach out to this woman, and she probably will not even, Facebook friend me, but if I could sit her down for an interview for the websites, that would be, how amazing would that be? And she did get back with me, and one thing led to another, and she ended up, she's just like, darling, why don't you stay an extra week and come fox hunting with me? And there's this ball, and so I was like, okay. So I sent my husband home and stuck around England for an extra week to party and fox hunt with a lady.
Okay, I read your story. Describe the night heading to meet her.
Yeah. This is my
only you, Leslie.
grand entrance. Basically there's a little mix up, and I got on the wrong. So I'm traveling from London out into the country where I'm gonna be hunting with the legendary Ledbury Hunt the next day. So I get on the wrong train. I get off at the wrong stop. I'm a talented individual. And
it's all in English, right? I mean, it's not like it's another language.
It's not like in German.
Right. I know, right? Like I have no excuse. And so I get off at the station and it's just like in the middle of nowhere. It's totally dark. Like the couple other people that jumped off the train there like scattered immediately. And you're in Europe, your cell phone doesn't work. I'm hoping that I can, like there would be a payphone there or something that I was planning on taking a cab to they're having a dinner party. I'm like the guest of honor at this dinner party. I'm already late. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea how I'm going to get there. And so there's this guy, the only person left on the platform, and it's night, it's dark. Is the guy that's like working, he's like salting the platform, like he works for the railway. And I'm like, is there a phone? Blah, blah, blah. Like, here's what and so he's just like, well, why don't, I'm about to be finished here. Why don't I just give you a lift? And which is like, but I was just, it was cold. I was late. I was like, I'm a little bit running low on options here anyway. So I was like, okay, all right. My husband's going to kill me. But,
And then tell everybody what mode of transportation to add to this whole thing.
Yeah. So I'll like follow him out to the parking lot and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. He's driving a white van.
A windowless van?
Yeah. With like a shovel in the back. No kidding. Because like, that's what he does. He like is the station salter, right? I'm like, oh no. So...
Dear God.
Did you have like a little knife in your bra or something?
Oh, of course not.
Okay.
You know me. No. So I just like, I'm like, okay, here we go. Yeah. But I mean, as it turns out, my faith in humanity was restored. He got me to the dinner party, and
he didn't rape you or murder you, and so your
night was good.
Yeah, I know. It's great. I'm winning at life right now. So I roll up to this, fancy British dinner party and I climb out of the white van and the least I can do is like invite this person, the railway guy, in for a drink. I mean,
you invited the railway guy into this fancy house for a drink?
Into someone else's house to drink someone else's beer, or whatever. So I walk in, I've got this guy in like high-waisted, like reflective trousers, like trailing behind me. And this is how I make I'm like, hey, I'm Leslie.
What's your name again? No, this is David. He works at the railway. Yeah. How you doing?
He's not my husband. No, he's not my husband. He's the guy with the white van.
Amazing. Yeah.
So how were you greeted late at the party?
I mean, I don't think everyone was amused, but Martha, the Lady Martha Sitwell, thought it was the best thing ever and told the story about 50 times over the course of the weekend. So I'm writing this series about my trip. And so that sort of brings us up to date. But I would love to give you a sneak preview of what.
Oh, yes.
Oh, dear God, I can't wait.
Give everybody, for people who don't know fox hunting, the next morning after staying in this mansion in the middle of nowhere, England, you went on. This is one of the most legendary, crazy wild fox hunts ever. So just give an overview to the people who don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, hedges taller than your horse, like great big ditches, just horse going full out. It's called the Ledbury Hunt. And the only, there's people just falling off left and right, So, I'm like, okay, that sounds good to me.
And this chick doesn't even know if you can ride, and she invites you on this.
Yeah. So I'm on a hired horse. So the horse I've got is, I don't really know what his name was, but I called him Bert, and he's just like this big, fresh from Ireland, like super chill, like true blue, cool guy. Not maybe the scopiest jumper, but very efficient. I always say like over, under, through the jumps, and there's a good mix of over and through. but I was so I'm out there for 4 hours. We have to have the horses back to the lorry by this, like 3. And so it's 2:30. We decide that, it's probably about time. The rest of the hunt stayed out there until dark. But we knew we had to sort of start heading in. And I am on fire at this point. I have not gone around a single jump. I jumped everything like a champ. I stayed right up at the front. Like I'm unstoppable. And I'm just really proud of because I like literally I saw more people hit the deck. People just falling off left and right,
Did alcohol have anything to do with some of them falling off?
Probably it had a lot to do with me staying on. Every time you stop at a check, everyone takes out their hip flasks and passes them around. So that, when you're riding a horse you've never ridden before over like 5-foot hedges, I would say that's probably a good time,
to check your hip flask. Gotcha.
That was my strategy. But yeah, so I'm feeling good. So we're going to catch up to the field master. There's this jump in front of us. It looks solid. It doesn't look huge. I can't figure out why 2 people in front of me fall off at it. Which maybe would have been a good sign that maybe, find another way. But me, I'm like, one more jump. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh no.
So I get up to it. It's a 4-foot solid rail, upright vertical, made out of with the top's like a telephone pole. Like it's sturdy, out of 2 feet of mud, like knee-deep mud. And poor Bert, like sensible horses, any sensible horse I think would have stopped in that situation. But, and I whispered in his ear beforehand. I was like, Bert, you got to pick your legs up over this, buddy. But, at that point, like riding in, it just didn't look, at that point, you're like, it's 4 foot. That's not.
That's nothing.
Are you with Lady Martha at this point?
Her horse was being naughty, so she had taken it back a bit early. But I was with her gentleman caller.
Okay, before you tell us what happened, were you the only American?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I was that.
You were representing the whole country up to this jump.
Yeah, I'm coming up to it, and I'm like, I sit down and tack, put my leg on, pick his ears up, give him a good ride, the sort of the ride that I've been giving him to the solid fences, and whisper in his ear, "Come on, buddy, Bert, pick up your feet." And he didn't quite get his feet up all the way, so we had a little rotational fall.
No.
Yeah, he just sort of somersaulted over it and rolled right off of me. No big deal. So I stand up. I'm like, what just happened? Stand up, and poor Bert's just standing there looking at me, bewildered. Like what just happened after he gets up. And so I stand up and I shake my whip at him. I'm like, Bert, I told you to pick up your feet. And then I got really dizzy and had to sit back down. and Manuel's like, "You're bleeding from your nose." And indeed, I have blood all over my face.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I'm much elbow. I don't know. I may get x-rayed in another couple of days if it doesn't. If I still can't straighten it, but I get Bert's fine. I'm more or less fine. I get back on. We hack back, so I'm just have blood all over my face, and I cannot stop grinning. This was the best. I mean, that maybe 3 minutes of that fall. Beside, it was the best fun I've ever had on a horse. And of course, and then I went hunting again the next day. With a different horse.
Bert needed
horse,
a day off.
Different hunt.
Bert wasn't going to come back to you again.
Bert's like, this woman is a maniac.
Yeah, I'm not letting her ride me again.
But I later find out that this jump that we fell at, is I got back and I'm telling Martha about it, and she's like, "Oh, they call that the badminton jump. I broke my finger there a couple of years ago." And I'm like, which one? Any jump on a modern badminton course is safer than this jump we tried to jump. And two, if I'd known that, maybe I would have not jumped it. But
we've been called bloody Americans a lot by the British, and in your case, it was just true.
Man.
I got to tell you a couple things. Reading this was probably the most fun thing I've ever read. It's not even over. But starting with number one, first of all, I feel like you're out hunting with Audrey Hepburn. I can't get that out of my head. Second of all, such great reading and such great quotes from her. And so that led me to the fact that Leslie Wiley, you've got to write a book about this woman.
Oh, I know. I really do. She is Martha is unlike anyone I've ever met in my life. She's like a cross between an old Hollywood, like a glamorous, old Hollywood
Audrey Hepburn,
starlet.
Yeah.
And she has that, that's her sort of her style and her mannerisms and she has the spirit of Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is no kidding, one of her heroes.
Oh, really?
She wants to come to visit me in Tennessee, and we're going to go to Dollywood together.
That is too funny.
Yeah. But then on top of that, she's this kind of tomboy who I think could drink any man under the table, and doesn't mind getting dirty and loves driving tractors. And, she is just...
Now, did she come from nobility, or did she marry into it?
She married a baroner.
But was she nobility before? Did she come from a noble family?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's the woman that every one of us wants to be.
Yeah.
And the fact that you got to hang out with her is just amazing. And I really think that you should write a book about her.
I really do too. That'd be great.
I would be more than happy to go with you and take photos, do whatever, hold the record or whatever. I would be, but oh my gosh. That would just be.
Did you go to the ball?
This is page-turning blog stuff.
Did you get to the ball, or were you too bloody and broken?
I went to the ball with a big with the top half of my nose scraped off. We go to this,
The hunt ball, though, it's a hunt ball, right? Everybody's been bloody that week, right?
Yeah.
And they're all too drunk to even notice you. So
nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yeah. It was amazing.
So where was the hunt ball? What kind of house was the hunt ball in?
Well, the ball was in, this was Grafton Hunt. So this was the third, basically all we did for 3 or 4 days was we just went, galloped around on horses, got off, partied, got in the car, went on to the next party / fox hunt. But then the ball was sort of the grand finale. It was, with Grafton Hunt. I have no idea where it was, but it was a super fancy ball. And this is one of my favorite Martha moments. We're in this super fancy ball. It starts with a sit down dinner. There's tables of 10.
Lots of silverware, right?
Lots of silverware.
Yeah.
Lots of fancy people.
Be honest, were you watching everybody else to know which one to use when?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was so I could hardly eat because there's so much. You have to do it a certain way. And and so I was sort of picking at my food all weekend. But so we get to this ball, we sit down at our table, everyone's drinking champagne. And the first thing Martha does is make everyone, much to the horror of everyone at the ball, make everyone at our table stand up on their chair, yell, "I am Spartacus," and down their entire drink.
This woman's a trip.
Oh God, please write a book about her.
Yes, you need to.
Yeah, and after I've got this, you guys need to get her on the show too.
Yeah, well, definitely, we'll have her on anytime. You get that arranged. We'll clear the schedule.
Okay,
it's like Audrey Hepburn meets The Great Gatsby. That's what it is.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Words. How freaking cool. What a neat thing. And first of all, for you to just be the kind of girl that's like, let's giddy up. And I know you can ride because I've seen, I know what levels you've evented. So good for you to get out there and do it and keep doing it, even though you had to retire your guy.
You know what? Screw
been a
that.
while.
Downton Abbey's ending this year. Masterpiece Theater needs to add her in, and you need to be one of the actors in the show.
Yeah, she could have totally pull off a reality show for sure.
Martha and Leslie, the American and the Brit.
The
Yeah,
best show ever.
My spirit animal for sure.
You do need to
Her
write.
trouble
Jamie's right on that. You call her today and you say, I want to write the book. You're an unbelievable writer. You need to write that book. This could make you a huge star in the literary world. Then she won't come on our show ever again.
I mean, you can even just write it from your perspective, much like, you know, have you seen The Great Gatsby or read The Great Gatsby? You know, it's more like him talking about his experiences with Jay Gatsby.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this is like the real life Gatsby.
Wait a
with
minute. We don't
horses
know.
and fox hunting.
We don't know what Lady Martha said about Leslie when Leslie left.
We know that she had fun because she kept keeping her along, and she let the windowless van guy into the house. So. Good Lord, girl. That was the craziest part of the whole thing. Hey, I'll give you a ride, total stranger in the dark and cold, and hop in my windowless van with a shovel in the back. What? Dear God, woman, you should be divorced by now. I would have not tell anybody about that. I'd been like, you know what? Just sweep this one under the rug.
Oh,
This never happened.
Jennifer came up with a great name for the show, too. Lady and the Yank. It's perfect. Lady and the Yank.
Oh my goodness, that's the title of my book.
That's a title right there.
And the cover photo has to be of her with the cigarette covered bud galloping on a horse. I mean, dear God.
And you know what? You standing beside her with your bloody face. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Did you take a picture of did you do a selfie with the blood coming out of your nose? Please tell me you did. Of course you did. Okay, just check it.
Covered in
Are we
blood.
going to see that in an article soon?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good,
yeah.
good.
Okay.
Oh,
wanna make
man.
Got
sure-
lead buried.
I got badminton jumped to Ledbury. That's so funny. Oh, Leslie, I love that you had this experience. I love that you gave it the green light. I love that your husband was like all on board. Like, yeah, sure, go spend a week with a total stranger. Leave me to go fly across the country by myself home. Whatever. He's awesome. What a keeper you did. God.
He is truly.
Oh, jeez. Well, Leslie, that's a trip. Welcome home, I think.
I posted the link to the first one on our Horses in the Morning Facebook page, but just go to horsenation.com, you guys, and read it. It is some of the most fun reading I've done in a while, and I can't wait for part 3. Just can't wait.
Oh yeah.
Leslie, we'll talk to you on Monday, and we'll continue to follow along with your articles and talk to you about them on Mondays, okay, as they come out.
Sounds great.
But seriously, contact her today and get the rights to the book.
Okay.
God, that'd be the greatest thing ever. Greatest thing.
All right, Leslie, see ya.
Okay, bye.
It's Leslie Day. Let's start at the beginning, and we all kind of followed you on your flight over, and you get there and you go into training camp, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had a day of orientation in the capital city, Ulaanbaatar, and then they bused us. It was probably a 6 or 7 hour bus ride out to start camp, which we didn't know where that was going to be. And then we actually, the orientation in the Capitol was kind of a whole bunch of PowerPoint presentations on basically outlining all the different ways that we could get hurt or get in big trouble or how we could break the rules. And
could you always call it the Capitol? Because like I feel now
Yes,
it's
me
like
too.
super Hunger Games.
yeah, it was totally Hunger Games. Like they it was just all up in this nice hotel, and yeah, I shot a bow and arrow
Into a pig's apple.
And
you bus
and
right
then-
out 7 hours to the middle of nowhere, and the Capitol's watching, and
Mhm.
carry on. Sorry.
Yep. And then we had a couple of days of training on with the horses. We got to go out for a test ride. Kind of they the first batch of horses they brought out were like deceptively, they're like, these are like the starter horses, the deceptively like they were actually like sweet, pretty well trained, safe Mongolian.
It lied to you.
Yeah,
just like in the
get our
Hunger Games.
confidence up before they crushed us completely. And but it was neat. So we got to go out and try navigate. Make sure we had to sort of like navigate out to a GPS checkpoint and prove that we could use our Garmins and then they had all sorts of really neat entertainment for us. They had like a Nadama children's race, which was pretty amazing. Like all these kids. I mean, you throw a 3-year-old up on one of these horses, and it can ride you under the table. Super duper humbling. But yeah, it's just this big kids race. Most of the kids are bareback. Nobody's got helmets. Nobody's got body protectors. They're just letting it fly. And then they had traditional Mongolian music and a contortionist, which was really exciting, and some master classes in skills like hobbling a horse, which I've never typically in the eventing world there's stalls that we can put our
hobbling's not common.
Event stuff, so hobbling. But now, think how much money am I going to save on stapling at events now? Sorry, princess. Like, is Leslie's horse just loose out there? Nope, it's hobbled. All right.
She's Mongolian. Don't worry about
she's
it.
gone Mongolian.
So you spent 2 days in training, and are you allowed to talk about the thing you wrote about in one of the articles? By the way, you can find our first 3 articles at horsenation.com. Are you allowed to talk about the first introduction to Mongolia even before you headed out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys, since you guys have been following me since the beginning, you get some deep cuts here on the story that that didn't make it into the the series, the written series, because didn't want my mom to read them and be even more worried. I don't know if they could get any more worried.
Yeah, your mom's not listening now. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is how Derby Day 1 begins for me. I think I alluded to it in the most recent story, which, by the way, I've got three parts of the series, which is probably going to be a 4-part series, maybe a 5-part series out so far, and you can check any of those out on Eventing Nation, Horse Nation, or Jumper Nation. But yeah, so I wake up about 5 a.m. on the start of the race morning. They had us all staying in gers there were five people to a ger, and I woke up and look up, and there's a Mongolian herder, a drunk Mongolian herder, trying to get in bed with me, and and so we all, I'm in the ger with, some ferocious ladies, and we all shoot him out, but, it's like, man. So, and then we're kind of, I don't know about anybody else, but I was like, well, I'm not falling back asleep after that. And just laying awake thinking about the race was about to start, and about how I had to go to the bathroom. so me and Rachel, who I've told you guys about, and has been on the show before. She is from South Carolina. Fantastic gal. And so we walked out to, they had like a little portable restroom trailer set up. Very fancy compared to what toilet facilities to come. So we're like walking across, and at some point I noticed that herder dude has following us. And so we get in the trailer. I'm like, okay, Rachel, you got 30 seconds. Go. And then, and meanwhile, like herder guy gets close, and he's just sort of like lingering menacingly in the doorway of the trailer. And so we come out, and he's just kind of like standing there holding his ding dong, which was, for the record, much more ding than dong. Waving it around at us and talking, who knows what he was saying in Mongolian gibberish. But and we yelled at him and went back to the he kind of like stumbled after us. We just went back to the ger, and that was how the race began. Race morning, even before we got to the start. He did get arrested later on. Rachel ID'd him at the second horse station, and he apologized and got arrested. So
welcome to Mongolia.
Yeah. I mean, it's not anything worse than could happen to you, like
here
on the subway.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, that exact same thing happened to me on the MARTA in Atlanta. So I'm like, and it's so disgusting, and it's so violating, and it's so nasty that, oh my gosh, of course you couldn't sleep. Oh, and it's not like you can lock your door because it's tense.
Door. Yeah. So yeah,
that's awful. I'm so sorry. It's not a great way to start, but moving on. Dong ding thing. What? So sun comes up. It's time to go.
Time to go. Yeah. So we had like a kind of group prayer, and there was some passing around of incense type thing. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. Lots of chanting, but I was into it. I was like, whatever I need. It was a good meditation before we all got started, and then went out to the start. And it was really funny because the horse that I'd done my training on came in last place in the Nottam, like not even close, like by far, mile back, with this little kid. And then the horse that I drew for, it was all completely random, who we would start the race on. The horse that I drew for the start of the race was the winner of the Nottam, and which was pointed out to me. And I really did not have any big plans of showboating at the beginning of the race at all. I didn't even turn my GPS on because I was just like, I'm just going to float with the pack for a while, go with the flow, follow the herd. And it's was a big mess at the start. Everybody's horses because now they brought in the fresh horses that are not the sweet
kids horses,
like training horses. This is the real deal. And thankfully they phased out shooting a gun for the start. They just because you can imagine, I'm sure that I think they would lose several people in the first leg back when they would
oh my gosh.
But yeah, so we've got 42 horses circling around waiting for the start of this, and everybody's everybody's, all the riders too, they've been training for this moment for months, and they're just ready to get on with it. So lots of adrenaline in the air at the start, and they count us down. We're off, and I managed to stay on my horse at the beginning, which seemed like a real, accomplishment. And then the horse goes into like Seabiscuit mode. and I'm just, from the get-go, he starts weaving, and I'm just like sitting back, and you do you, horse, and he's weaving through the pack and weaves all the way, and suddenly we're out front, and then suddenly we're out front by a lot. And and like a lot, like just leaving people in the dust. The only person who was kind of close to us was this guy, Ed, who he ended up actually co-winning the race, but he was an Australian Olympic pentathlete. And I was like, Ed, dude, you got to keep up. Like, I tried to pull up my GPS. Can't see. I've got tears in my eyes because we're going so fast. And like it comes up, I've got the zoom not thick, I've got it zoomed in weird or out weird or something. Anyway, it's just a arrow on a great screen, not helpful at all. So he basically kind of like navigated me through the first leg of the race. And we just left. I don't know what kind of warp speed we were going at, but we couldn't even see the pack anymore. Everybody's going at full.
And you don't slow your horse down when they are running. You just go with it, right? You just let go and hang on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got way out front and I'm like, oh man, this is not what I was expecting. And then some other people caught up and there's a little cat and mouse for the end of the leg. We all got into the first horse station together, about, I don't know, I think there was like 6 or 7 of us. So we have these horse stations throughout everyone, and it's really cool the way that they do this. But you come into the station and there's a vet, and you've got to trot your horse. They take your heart rate. They check it for dehydration. They check it for, to make sure that you haven't pulled, rubbed their mouth, or there's a saddle sore, or they check the horse's condition. You've got to be at 56, your heart rate's got to be 56 within 30 minutes of arriving at the station, or you get a vet penalty. And which is fantastic. It keeps, it really discourages people from just riding the crap out of their horses and then not cooling them down properly. It really encourages good horsemanship. So
now, Leslie, is it like a 10-minute box or the cool down after a cross country? Are there buckets of ice? Are people sponging the horses and scraping them? Or you just like, I assume by the laughter, that would be a no.
Yeah, there's no like buckets of liniment, no water at all. They don't, I think they're not really into, cooling horses out with water so much. Like a lot of times we would try and find, even if we had to go out of our way a little bit, water throughout the leg. We, see something on the GPS and try and navigate out to a creek or a river or a little lake or something. But no, very rarely was there water at the stations. So it's really, it was really just a matter of, you had to do your homework before you got to the station as far as making sure your horse was cooled down properly. You couldn't just dump some ice on him and everything was going to come down.
When you're riding these horses, because you have to prepare them for coming into the station, you can't just haul ass to the station to station. So when you're riding, are these horses, they're wild, they're fairly wild. So is there a time where you're like, okay, we're going to walk for a while and then, okay, back to the canter? Or is it just you gallop them out and then you walk all the way back in? Like, how's it work?
Yeah. I think everybody had different strategies for that. For me, I kind of like this whole race, I put a whole lot of stock in the letting horses take care of themselves and choose their speed, choose their path, like just really listening to the horses because these horses have been doing this for centuries. They know how to take care of themselves. They know how to navigate the terrain and stay out of trouble, and keep themselves sound and well and healthy. And who am I to map my, like little pony club Western notions of what, how to manage a horse onto them. So what I tended to do was let the horse pick its speed, and then and usually eventually they would slow down at some point. And, and make sure that I would get off the last couple kilometers out and loosen their girth and walk them in and let them have some grass and just kind of let them dictate what they wanted to do. And it helped. It seemed like if you weren't pushing them, if you weren't like kind of stop, start, if you just kind of let them find their rhythm and the pace that they were the most comfortable with, and let them stick it there, then they would. I didn't have a single vet penalty the whole race. So
you were one of the very few too, because most of them had them. I noticed there were very few that didn't. So
Pony Club. What's up?
So now you got to that first horse station, and then you actually rode out, and most people didn't, and you ended up staying at the shopping mall, according to our map.
Yeah, I found myself, I was way out in the lead. By really luck, I just kept drawing good horses that day and that first day, and found myself at the third horse station of the day with an hour and a half to go, and I was way out in front, and I thought, the smart thing to do would be stay here at the horse station and, like this sort of race endorsed family ger, and where they can take care of my horses and I know where I am. And
which is what you told your husband you were going to do.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, we heard that, by the way.
Yeah. It was really funny. By my thing that I told Tommy, I was like, and I really meant it when I said it. I was like, I'm not going to ride alone. I'm definitely not going to stay out alone. And by the second leg of the race, I'd broken the no riding alone rule. By the end of the day, I'd broken the I'm not staying, camping out by myself rule. But
it's not like it helped being around other people, because you still saw some weirdo's wiener.
Yeah, exactly. You still got sexually molested. So
that's true. That's true. So, but I thought, I was like, man, I don't know if, everything could change tomorrow. I don't know how long I'm going to be. How often are you in the lead of the Mongol Derby? I'm going to own this day. And so we decided to ride out. And it was like, if I stayed at the third horse station, I'd be tied for first with however many people. But if I rode out, I would have, there would be one morning at least that my husband, Tommy, would wake up and you guys would wake up and everyone just be like, what?
That's exactly our reaction, by the way. That was our reaction right there.
Yeah. Spit out your coffee. And so I decided to ride on out and see if I couldn't just find a Motel 6 out
You
there.
did. You found the shopping mall, according to the map. So what was that like? Did they have like a Nordstrom's and?
So for those who don't know, she actually makes it to on the GPS. What says? I think it was the Golden Meadows shopping mall.
Yes.
Were you riding for the Golden Meadows shopping mall on your GPS, or was it just dumb luck that it was like the perfect time?
It was not. That is hilarious to me, because it was not. It was a ger in the middle of a goat field. Like a total GPS fail, or somebody, Google Google Maps joke that they're, because there was nothing remotely
they weren't selling anything. There was nothing for sale at the shopping mall.
Nothing. No, there was no shopping mall. No, it was a ger. It was a canvas ger in the middle of a field. I have no idea why that showed up on the GPS like that, but I did know that the only thing I knew was that our route kind of ran parallel to a road, which we did not. There were not too many roads that we encountered along the route, but I figured that there would be something along the road, like somebody would be living along the road somewhere, and hopefully they would take me in for the night. So
All right. Well,
know,
and you did. You went, and we have to get to Dr. Chang here shortly, but for our Monday update from Omega Alpha. But you stayed in the GER, right, with the family?
I did. Yeah, I did. They
and
took
was
me
that
in.
less harrowing than the first GER that we just talked about?
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, it felt safe.
And it was cold, right? It was like freaking cold.
Yeah, it got really cold that night. And some bad weather came in, and it was raining, storming all night, and we rode out in a storm the next morning.
And that leads us to the story everybody wants to hear about. And that is, of course, your pony that decided to split on you. So we're going to tell that story.
Update.
Yes, we're going to tell that story. We had a whole lot of fun talking about that while you were gone, too.
Well, Trust Design says ditch the boring. Just because halters are pretty much the most utilitarian item in your kit doesn't mean they should look boring. Halters should be beautiful. Be the first in your barn to have halter style on point with a Trust Design halter. They are truly one-of-a-kind designer halters. Visit trustdesign.com. That's spelled TRVST design.com.
I just wanted to say I am so proud of you. What a great adventure. Thank you so much for taking us along with you and keeping us updated. I have two questions. I wanted to know if you had a favorite horse out there. And the second one would be, what part of your riding experience was the most helpful? Thank you again so much, and I'm so happy you're home. We're so proud. Bye-bye.
And we'll get to those questions. Thank you, Hillary Borneman, for sending that in. But first, we're going to hear about your least favorite horse. So tell us about that fateful day. You head out on this nice little pony who then robs you blind.
Yeah. So, I was still right up at the top of the pack, starting out day 3, and it was the second leg. And I think you never ever pick a pony or a boy for its good looks. Don't do it.
Duh.
Because, duh.
Jamie, you failed at that one, by the way.
But pretty boys, I picked this pretty boy pony off the line after the first horse that I picked, which was sort of I kind of went for the like tiny, scrappy looking alley cat looking horses. But this one would not let anyone put a saddle or bridle on it. So I thought, seems outlook not good for getting for riding it. So I picked another horse. It was gorgeous blue roan. And he just like charmed my pants off for about, I don't know, the first 10K of the ride, to the point where I thought, I'm really hot. The sun had come out. I'm going to take my raincoat off. Dismounted. And before and you have to understand, getting on and off these horses is probably the most dangerous part. Every time you put your foot in the stirrup to get on, you just don't know. Like I'd say it was 50-50 whether I ended up on the horse or I ended up sort of like backpedaling and jumping back off, like being like, that's not going to work that go around. I'll try it again. Because they would just wouldn't, they just don't have standstill manners. They would, rear up or buck or, skitter off sideways. And meanwhile, it's not like in a herder's trying to hold them down, but sometimes or sometimes didn't. But this horse really had me convinced that it was a rational, sentient being. Perhaps
he's your friend.
He's my friend. He's beautiful. Yeah. And so I stopped to get off and take off my raincoat, and in the process, the horse just bolted. And I tried to hang on to him because you're riding with reins and a lead rope, exactly for this purpose, so that when you jump off, you can keep hold of them. And he dragged me across the rocks for a few strides and pulled the lead rope out of my hands and went galloping off into the sunset, never to be seen again. Like literally, they never found the horse.
Yeah, that was our most asked question by listeners all week. Did they ever find the horse? They never did find the horse?
They never did find the horse.
So that horse is wandering around with a saddle under its belly at this point?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that eventually they always find the horses, but it could be weeks. You know, there are no fences. There's nothing to stop the horses from, you know, and from just, you know, joining up. I think he just joined up with another herd and was done with it. And so at some point, the owner of that herd will be like, this isn't my horse. And it had brands on it, and it'll eventually get back to its owner. But
this isn't my horse, but I sure do like this iPhone 7.
Yeah.
That's in the
saddle
on the
and
back.
this nice $300 sleeping bag.
Right. All of which, for the record, I'm totally at peace with, because, you know, especially from being out and experiencing this culture and being in the family homes of some of these herding families, they need that stuff way more than I do. Maybe not my iPhone. I don't know what they're going to do with an iPhone 7 out there, but like a nice warm sleeping bag, a basic first aid kit, some, you know,
Leslie,
utility kit.
Leslie, let's make a donation after.
Yeah, you
okay?
didn't need to donate during the race. You could have waited.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they could have left it. I could have made the donation after, but
yeah. So part of the problem, though, aside from your sleeping bag is attached to this horse, your kit, all of your things that you're packing, it also had your stirrups, because you had your own stirrups, and everybody put their own stirrups on each saddle every time they would get on a pony. So you have no stirrups at this point. The horse is gone. You're in the middle of nowhere. What do you do?
Well, I pressed my help button, and the crew came out eventually and picked me up in their Land Cruiser. We looked around for the horse for a little bit. They, you know, dispatched some herders on motorcycles to look around for the horse. No dice. So they brought me back to the horse station where I'd started, and I was kind of sitting around, you know, feeling a little bad for myself, and watching, you know, my lead slip into the ether. Other riders were coming through by this point. And then at some point, the Maggie Pattinson, who we've had on the show before, she's the race ref, was like, hey, if you want to keep riding, you can. We have a saddle. We have an extra saddle. There's just one catch. There's no stirrups. And so I'm like, sold, you know. Like,
you're like, just so you know, I invented No Stirrup November. So I'm in.
Yeah, let me remind everybody, it's been 6 months since November. So
right. But yeah, so I figured, well, might as well, you know, should have spent more time you know, training for this, you know, maybe a training routine of like crushing beer cans with my thighs or something would have been helpful, but you got to work with what you got. And so I headed out and did the next, it was a long leg. It was a 40K leg. So which comes to about, I don't know, 25 miles or something.
At what mile marker did you start to regret that?
Actually, it was a great leg. I immediately kind of figured out that I had two speeds, walk, canter, or gallop. There was not going to be any trotting. I would not get out of trotting with, get away with trotting with my inner thighs intact. So I kind of would walk down hills and canter on the flat or canter up hills. And it was the most beautiful leg. We are going through this incredible valley, with just mountains rising up on either side of it. And you could just see the the path in front of you just like unfolding through. It just went on and on forever. And I was on this great horse. I'd asked the translators to pick me out a horse that was not going to kill me because wasn't going to have any stirrups. So some of these horses that I'd ridden, they'll be in the next, they'll be 20 feet off, jump 20 feet to the side if they see a broken vodka bottle. And so I needed a sweet horse, and he was so sweet. And it was a beautiful day, and it was actually turned out to be a great leg.
So you're cantering along, no stirrups, going, life is awesome. This is so great. I love it. I'm so happy. I'm so glad I did this, even though you had no stirrups. Leslie Wiley, you're my hero.
Well, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do?
No, that's exactly right. It's like keep going or quit because the blue roan is headed to Russia at this point, or China, could be either. So you completed, and what was going on while you were doing that, by the way, is they tweeted out about you galloping, and I think that the Mongol Derby even put out the video of you galloping, and it was just like every one of us was like toasting you and cheersing and celebrating. We were like, she rides on. It was like my favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah, there must have been. So even though out there, we just felt like we didn't know anything that was going on in front of us, behind us. We didn't know where we were half the time. And certainly we had no idea, you guys who were following the race from home had a better understanding of what was going on in the race than we did. We were just cantering along in our little cloud of dust, oblivious. But there must have been some sort of cosmic, you guys' support energy and cheers must have made it. I must have felt that on some level.
We have invited callers to call in at 10 o'clock. So, we'll get to them as soon as they do. If you want to call, it's 435-272-1997. So, there's so much more to this. And look, we're an hour in and we've only gotten to the point where you lost your pony. So I want to ask you a couple questions, and then we'll let everybody else read on horsenation.com all about that. But I've gotten some questions. And what point did you say, okay, I can't possibly be in the lead again, and you just settle in to have a good time as much as you were going to have at that point?
I think it was about halfway through the race. After the setback with the tack, and then the next day I just got a horse that just really quit on me in the middle of the ride, and I just had another really slow going sort of day. And at the end of that day I was like, I'm not going to make it. The finishing in the top 10 is not in the cards for me. So at that point I knew, which was fine, because at that point I was like, no, just surviving this race is going to be a very real challenge and accomplishment. And I knew at that point that that what was imperative first and foremost was to surround myself with good people who are going to be a positive, bring a positive energy to the table, and hopefully I could reciprocate that. And then that's what I did. Found a great group of people who kind of had a similar ethos to me, who were like, let's enjoy ourselves. Let's appreciate this experience that we're in the middle of, and this opportunity that we have to see this incredible land and be a part of, see a culture from the inside out.
Well, that leads to Hillary's question that she had. What training did you have that you felt helped best you get through this whole thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think all
no stirrup
summer.
November, obviously.
No stirrup November.
Which we're changing to badass Leslie no stirrup November.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all, I mean, I think it's not any specific exercise or training routine. I think it's just sort of life experience of, I've had hardships in my life that I have sort of given me the opportunity to see the bottom of myself and become familiar with, sort of what's down there and what I have to call on when I need it. And I think that I had to call on every last bit of that in the race at some point to get through and to keep going. And so I think just like the best training was all the stuff, throughout my life that I've found myself enduring, because, that was training.
That's a great answer.
Speaking of your bottom, I have to ask, how was the food, and did you get violently ill at any point?
Man, most of the food, forget what you heard. It was amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, it wouldn't be amazing for Jamie. Let's cut her out of this conversation. Yeah. You didn't see a vegetable, did you?
Unless you're a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Unless you're someone, I think that if you're a person who like needs to know what you're putting in your mouth, then probably you're not going to have a good time. But if you can just approach it with an adventurous spirit and just be like, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to eat it and, experience it, then I think that it was a pretty cool culinary adventure.
Did you get violently ill at any point?
Only the illest I got was I had ordered some like shrimp spring rolls or something in the hotel in the capital and got pretty sick from that. But
so you got your food poisoning from the hotel? There you go.
But during the race, and there's things that you're eating, you're like, this should probably, I mean, some of the water was like brown, with floaty bits in it. And some of the food, you'd find yourself like picking a hair out of it or like swatting flies off of it, but so I'm like, maybe it should be, but I don't know if your body just kicks into some sort of
defensive mode,
or defense mode or what, but I was fine the whole race.
Wow. Well, good. Yeah. I'm glad, because that was the thing we talked about a lot, was you spending most of your time behind a bush, which there weren't any, so that would have been tough.
I love it. If you're a person that would like to know what you're putting in your mouth.
Yeah, that's the quote of the day.
That's quote.
Now, we have to ask you about fermented mare's milk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exceeded my very low expectations. It kind of was just tasted like really tart, like melted yogurt or something, maybe with like a spiked with a little vodka or something. It was not so bad. It was not I mean, I would not seek it out in my life for sure, but as far as just like a ceremonial sip here and there, it was not revolting.
Okay, see, this is the exact reason that you undersell, because then it becomes an over deliver. So we really freaked you out about everything, and you're welcome, because everything turned out great.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Leslie, okay, one more question before we get to some callers that are lining up here. So, and I have a message for you, too, from your friend Devin, who sent a message all the way from Japan. So she wanted to give you a message. But at what point in the race, everybody does this, whether you're any adventure you're doing that's truly grueling like this, you have that point where you don't think you can do another step, where you don't think you can get on another pony. And when was that?
Oh man, I think it was the whole second half of the race, starting with this. I put out just last night. Put out part 3 of the race series, but when things started to get pretty tough, and so I would have kind of moments of that for about the entire second half of the race. Luckily, I was with some people who, I mean, we were literally just pulling one another along, and it always seemed like somebody was up, somebody was doing okay, somebody was in the dark night of the soul, and we were constantly sort of cycling through that, and whoever was doing all right at the moment, we were, kind of pulling the rest of the gang along, and I think I played both roles in equal measure.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that little back at Leslie's escapades over the years. We really appreciate her being part of the show, as she was, and for coming on with us a month or two ago to catch up and get caught up. It was so good to talk to her again. And we'll be back here on Monday with a brand new episode, but we have a couple more coming this week, so look forward to them, and be safe, everybody.